Hello there, friends and fans. This is Grandmaster Arcturus here for the second to last episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD. This is episode 30, and I'm here with Mr. Newmans.
Hey all, once again. Back one more time for one more world. Last round.
Yep. And as I have mentioned several times before, I will eventually be back to do the other games, but I'm kind of wanting to focus on my own LPs for the moment. So it'll probably be about 2 or 3 months, but I do promise I will return.
Cool beans. Alright, so we've already seen the opening cutscene to this world, so that's why we're getting right in here.
Yep.
This world makes very little sense.
Very little sense at all. Sadly, no sense. It's like the Mad Hatter's Tea Party in here.
That would have been nice if we had gotten some Mad Hatter up in here, but no.
As crazy as it is, I think it would work.
So these little, I guess, battle bubbles.
You mean the balloons?
Battle balloons? Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure, why not? What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I don't know. This whole world has a whole mess of confusing. First, we have the wide open puddle, I guess you can call it.
Indeed.
It's like a field, only it's really just a puddle. You're walking on top of water. There's this little event horizon in the distance, and
well, as to me walking on water, everybody knows Sora's Jesus. You pledge your heart to Sora, and then he'll save you when you die.
Makes sense.
I mean, he's anime Jesus, isn't he?
Yeah, totally. Actually, I'm not entirely sure that this is water. I mean, it kind of sounds like it when he's walking, but it kind of looks like more sky.
Yeah, maybe we're walking on top of a world sitting on another world.
World's all the way down.
We're walking on top of a parallel. We're sitting in one dimension, walking on top. That's on top of another dimension.
All right, let's go with that. Maybe the waters in Hollow Bastion are the same way.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
And for some reason, we've got invisible walls.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that one.
And we've got these rocks here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great gameplay-wise. That somehow
except for the invisible walls. Those are just pointless.
Yeah. I mean, what in-universe explanation are you going to have for invisible walls in this wide-open sky, water, plane business?
I mean, cause surely, see, here's the thing. No matter what level you're, as long as you're not severely under-leveled, like you're coming in here at level 20, you're going to be leveled up enough to just utterly obliterate anything you run into.
Most likely. Now this part is pretty confusing. The way the chests, so you're walking along here, the bubbles come down and transport you to this alternate version of the spot where you're standing, where there's more ground and like rocks and stuff. And the cliffs.
Sides of the arena are mirrors.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know.
They are mirrors.
Huh. I guess that's true. Except you can't really see yourself in them.
Yeah, that's the... Well, Sora's a vampire. There we go. That solves that one. Sora's a vampire.
And you can see chests. You can see the chests that are in the main area in these little bubbles, but you can't interact with them. So if anything, these bubbles are more like pocket dimensions that are just passing through.
Yeah, it's maybe it's just a surreal thing. Maybe Sora's not actually fighting here; he's just standing there, and this is all happening in his head. These specific fights, I should say, the ones
that I hope not. we don't need that to be a new plot point. Sora losing his mind.
Well, he almost did in Dream Drop Distance. I mean, he went completely to the darkness, and almost got turned into a Nord.
Well, not yet.
Well, he almost did in Dream Drop Distance, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Anyways, now the enemies we've been fighting here are just mainly you get your typical fare of you got some behemoths, you got some shadows, you got some angel stars, you got the balloons, and then you got the invisibles. The angel stars and the invisibles are the new ones here, and they're fairly annoying.
Well, they're new if you haven't gone through Hades Cup yet.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, especially if you get a crowd of them together.
Oh yes, because the invisibles can, as you've seen, can go invisible for one of their attacks, and then when they do that, they basically do this like St. Elmo's fire type thing where they surround you with like a ring of fire, and they slap you with all that fire for a whole bunch of damage. And then the angel stars are just really annoying because they can throw energy discs at you, or they can just pelt you with energy blasts that they fire from their from the bottom sides of themselves, like a cannon.
Plus, they got pretty good defense, unless you're over leveled. They're tough customers.
Yep, every single one of them.
So, what do you think these rocks are?
Oh, you might. Let's see. Have I already walked into the portal on your end?
Not quite.
Oh yeah. I was on the cliff area, and this cliff area right here. This is an interesting area, very interestingly designed area. There's treasure chests all over the place. Only a few of them are actually really necessary. But I shouldn't even say any of them are necessary, but some of them, only a couple of them aren't gummy ship pieces. Even then, the gummy ship pieces that are in these treasure chests are just decorative pieces.
Well, to be fair, by this point, you've probably gotten, all the functional ones from like the Dalmatians or whatever.
Yep, and then there's really no reason to go after all the chests here, because by this point you're also probably got your final equipment set up, and that's what you're using right now.
Yeah. So now it's just want your ship to look pretty?
Yeah, basically. And if you want to pick up a few last-minute weapons just for a completion's sake, you can get them here, because they're in some treasure chests.
You do get some nice accessories, though. At least, around.
Yeah, and some of these treasure chests have actually been changed from the original version, because one of the chests here will give you Donald's meteor staff, which actually wasn't a weapon in the original version of Kingdom Hearts. Actually, it's probably not meteor staff. It's probably titled something else, but it's a word that's...
It's a word that means meteor staff.
Yeah, it's very. The word is very. Is a synonym of meteor, I think. It's like comet staff or something to that effect.
Let me do a quick check on that. Yeah, meteor staff was in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I was getting my staves confused.
Mm-hmm. Might have been meteor strike.
Probably.
Yep, there you go. Meteor strike.
Yep. Well, I got the first half right. Meteor.
Uh-huh. It is a meteor.
And as with the name Meteor, it's more of a melee weapon. But since Donald's a mage, why would you even consider giving him a melee weapon?
Yeah, it's not even. Oh well, I guess if you decided for some reason to give Donald a ton of power boosts.
Well, yeah, I suppose that could work, but now really
if you wanted to defy convention,
yeah,
and just make Donald your big brawler, you could have done that.
Basically, go to the customized menu and have all his magic set to never use. Just
because you know he's not going to heal you anyway, so skip the whole thing. Why not?
Yeah, just completely ignore the entire aspect of it.
It would be interesting to have Sora, Donald, and Goofy as all physical fighters. Just skip magic completely in the entire game. I wonder if anyone's tried a no magic run.
Well, aside from curative magic, well, let's see. Would you even need to use? No, you don't even really need to use curative magic because you could. I mean,
if you have enough items.
Yeah, but yeah, I was gonna say. As long as you're fine with not being able to cure during battle, or use your shortcut menu to quickly cure when you need it.
Right. For advanced players only.
Much like a level 1 run. For advanced players only.
This is one of the few places where Sora's sliding against the cliff is actually utilized.
Yeah, because I found that to be, like, a very underutilized skill, which is very, very weird.
Where else did it come up? Has it come up in another world? It must have been used at least one other time.
Deep Jungle, I know for a fact.
On the cliff area?
On the cliff area where you would fight what's his face? Clayton, and also in the waterfall area, yes. Not sure it showed up anywhere else other than that. Can't think of any place right off the top of my head.
And I think we can definitely agree that this never came up again in any other game.
Yeah, we don't really get much platforming. I mean, other than in Dream Drop Distance, and really you basically completely skip platforming via the
flow motion.
Yeah, flow motion, because you just run up walls and you can get anywhere with that.
Yeah, so you don't need ladders, you don't need cliffs sidling.
You don't even need any of the platform abilities that they do give you, because you do get your traditional platforming abilities in Dream Drop Distance, you just don't really need them.
You mean grabbing the ledge? Because that's really the only one that really matters.
Well, I mean, like Glide, like I was just using there, you don't actually... You get it in Dream Drop Distance, but you don't ever need it. With the ability to run up a wall...
I mean, if you ever come up with wide open areas, of which there are like a handful.
Yeah, I suppose that could be... But from what I've seen of Dream Drop Distance, that's really not all that often. And the majority of the time, you can just pretty much rely on flow motion.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so where are we now?
Now we're in the World of Worlds. Basically, this is an area that allows you to visit the individual areas of each, like little sections of each world, where you can fight some enemies and get a treasure chest.
We like treasure chests.
Yeah, originally in the original versions of Kingdom Hearts, in the Japanese original release and the vanilla North American release, each of the treasure chests had accessories that were duplicated that you'd already gotten, so you could get second copies of a bunch of really decent accessories.
That's true. It was actually the ones associated with the worlds as you went by.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Like in that one we got, one we were just in Traverse Town, which we were just in, you would have gotten a Brave Warrior. But what they changed here is that now you're just getting synthesis materials in each of those chests. So,
I mean, which is kind of weird. I mean, I suppose it's true that in most cases you would. A lot of people would probably still have some synthesis that they want to get done.
Especially since the material Gale, which is only available from Angels and Invisibles, Angel Stars and Invisibles, and the first time you run into them is here, and you probably won't run into them anywhere else until you run into them here.
Right, and you know, the only other place where they do show up, which is Olympus Coliseum, they don't drop anything during matches.
Exactly. Now, if you're not interested in all the chests that you can pick up here, you as long as you've locked a world, you can skip its portal. So, for instance, Traverse Town and Olympus here. You could skip every single one of you can skip both those portals because if you did remember to lock the world. So,
but if you didn't lock the world, you can't skip them.
Yep.
So like the gate to the next terminal doesn't show up until after you've cleared the enemies.
Yeah, if you didn't lock the world, you have to go into the center column of light to defeat all the enemies and get the chest, and then you're able to progress. But if you had locked the world, you can skip that center column altogether. Just go right by it and move on to the next.
Can you backtrack?
Yes.
I can never remember. I think, well, and you can always revisit these areas.
Yes,
because the columns don't go away, with the exception of the last one.
Yes, and it's really good that you can backtrack because there's a save point. The second to last column of light is for the 100-acre wood, and that's the only save point in this area. So what you would normally do is go into the 100-acre wood, grab its chest, then move on to the next column of light, defeat its enemies. Grab its chest, then backtrack to the portal, to the 100-acre wood portal, and then save there, and then move on to the boss that happens right after this area.
You know, the Agrabah area is pretty interesting. This is the second. Okay, normally in Agrabah, all the little areas are treated like separate rooms, but not in this case. Here it's all just one big area.
Yeah, which is funny
and also during the boss battle against the pod centipede.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting because there's no load screens necessary, so it kind of throws up a flag like why were transition load screens necessary if
probably because of cutscenes or whatever. But yeah, why did they need that in the first place if they could
make the world one big open area, and obviously they were able to do that there. I mean, it's just kind of one of those weird things.
Yeah, weird choices. What are you gonna do?
Thunder Gem always useful because for synthesis.
That's true.
And this time, not all. I should actually mention that not all of the treasure chests are synthesis items, because as you notice there, I just got an AP up. Most of them are though. There is one notable exception, and that is in the Neverland portal. the treasure chest that is in that portal actually gives you the last weapon in the game for Goofy. Oh, this
Well,
is
we'll
going
be
rather
there soon enough.
fast. This is going rather fast. And a Lucid Gem. Let's move on to the next portal.
And now we are up to Neverland.
Oh, I apologize, Newmans. I wasn't even looking at the Skype chat. I didn't realize you were behind.
Yeah, trying to... yeah, some technical issues here.
Oh, I am so sorry about that.
Thunder! Thunder!
Let's get rid of some barrel spiders, though. Well, that was
Yes, please. Isn't it nice when all the doors are open?
Exactly. So much easier. The Mighty Shield. That would be Goofy's last shield.
It makes a better name than its Japanese name. Well, half better. This is the massive bumper, except that it's not really all that massive.
Yeah, it's not.
And now, we get a nice little rest.
Indeed, we get a save point and a treasure chest, and that's it.
So were there any worlds that weren't represented here? We didn't get Monstro.
Yeah, I don't... Do we...
Because Monstro didn't have
I don't... Yeah, because
keyhole.
Monstro wasn't technically a world. I mean, it was it was a place we traveled to, but it wasn't a world in as much as it would have had a keyhole.
Mm-hmm. And wherever could we be now?
There's lots of theories where we're at about where we're at right now. The biggest stems with that it's the basement of the castle in Hollow Bastion.
It makes sense.
Because
I think it's a good assumption.
Because this is like a research area, and obviously they were researching darkness.
Yeah.
And where is the one place that we know of that people research darkness a whole bunch?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the basement research laboratory in the castle at Hollow Bastion.
Yeah, and this place is in pretty bad state, which I guess is why the portal to come here was different than all the others.
Yep, and now we've got a...
And why we can't go back.
Now, yes, and that portal to that basement actually now transforms into the portal to our next boss fight. So that's why I came back, so I could restore my magic and be prepared for the next boss fight. Because while it isn't all that difficult since I'm at level 100, it is nice to have to be fully stocked on my NP.
Yeah, you always want to go in prepared.
Now, if you've watched Fantasia, you'll know that you'll recognize this boss head immediately.
I did.
We got Chernabog here with his signature theme, Night on Bald Mountain.
Very nice music for this boss fight. Alright. Let's kick his ass. Well, face. Let's kick his face.
Yeah. I mean, you could try attacking his ass, but I don't think it would do too much.
Nope. Which is a little weird if you think about it.
Yeah, we're just gonna
The boss
up on
is where you can only hit one part of their body.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep beating up on his face or neckline area.
Yeah, let's stay where he can see us.
Now, generally, this boss fight can be somewhat difficult if you're lower level than I am. Yeah, it can. Generally, his most dangerous stuff is his area of effect fire attack that he did, and then I think that's his most dangerous one. His most annoying one, definitely, is that one where he just pushes you back.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed to happen at least once in the battle, no matter how strong you are, because you just
it did happen once to you.
Yeah, it's just impossible to to beat him fast enough to prevent that, because there's no way you can do enough damage.
And now we've got Super Glide, which is kind of moot at the moment.
Well, yes, because we're flying, but you'll see once we land how infinitely useful it can be.
Now this part confused me the first time, and I never had the chance to go back and check on it. The fact that you could go to two different sides of that portal, and there was a way down each way.
Yeah, wait.
And this place, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there was, like, on the other side of the portal you could still fly, I think. Shoot, this is like the most confusing part of the world. I just didn't know what to make of it, and I still don't. And I've never had the opportunity to go back and check it out again.
Also, you may notice that the walls that we were flying past, if you actually took a look at them, some of them had designs that were inspired by some of the worlds that had already been eaten.
I think I need to go back and look at that. So, like, which ones?
Like, for instance, don't take my word for it, but I believe one of them has a design that's similar to something you might see from Snow White, which is one of the worlds that has been eaten already. And which you would see a little more of the Snow White world actually in Birth by Sleep.
That's true.
Right now we're in this little area, which is just a enemy rush.
Yeah, a little arena here.
The idea is to go through enough rounds with enemies to get to knock all the pieces off of that plaque that's in the back.
Yes. Although we don't get to see it, open up except for the first part and the last part.
Well, you can. It's just more of the time.
You don't get cinematics for it.
It doesn't zoom in on it.
Yeah. For some reason, this place is called the Linked Worlds. I'm not sure why. This place doesn't. This just seems to be one pretty nondescript room, aside from the emblem on the side.
Also, there is something special about this room. This room is the only place you will find
Neo Shadows.
Neo Shadows, which do drop a synthesis material you need to complete the synthesis list. So you'll want to be coming back to this specific room after you've defeated it, and after you've done the initial run through of it, so you can fight the Neo Shadows. Also, you can run into black funguses and white mushrooms here. The white mushrooms here can do any of the expressions that they would in any of the other worlds. So generally, it's not a good place. That's why it's generally not a good place to farm for white mushrooms, because it's easy.
Because you can't determine which ones.
Yeah, it's easier to go to worlds where they focus on only 2 or 3 expressions.
Yeah. Because if you take too long and the one that you want doesn't come around, then they're just going to disappear and you get nothing.
Yeah.
Alright, here we are in the final rest.
Final rest. The last room before the final boss battle.
With a very familiar door.
Yep. Next week we will take on the final boss battle and see the end of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD.
Oh noes!
So, see you then. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.
See you next time.